Letters from the front. Lieutenant Colonel Mackay is in receipt of a long letter from Lieutenant R. Gartside, who left with the Imperial Bushmen's contingent. The letter is dated the 15th of August, 1900, and written at Eland River in siege. We extract the following, quote, "We are in it now, and no mistake. On Saturday the 4th, Boers came down with us at 5:30 a.m. and opened fire at ranges from 2 miles to 1,400 yards with 4 12-pounders and 4 pom-poms. And before the day was over, they pumped in 1,000 shells. It was hot, I tell you, as our camp covers only about 3 acres and every shot came home. One pom-pom shell struck Corporal Norton and Trooper Bird, killed Norton and took Bird's leg off at the thigh. They are both Victorians, but the only Victorians who have been hurt. The second day, all our horses were finished. 450 shells were fired that day. On the 5th, General Carrington tried to get in and got within 3/4 of a mile of the camp when the Boers turned all their guns on him and he had to go for it. I don't think he had any big guns. At least we didn't hear them. We have only one 7-pounder which does good work until it gets blocked. Then we have to take it to pieces to clean it. We have only 100 rounds for it and now only have about a dozen left. We caught a prisoner who said that the Boers expected us to hoist the white flag after the first 2 hours firing. I do not think they have any plan of attack. The 4 guns and the pom-poms get on 4 hills and pump away. There are snipers all around us, some about 500 yards away from us. These keep shooting all day and our fellows reply. All our troops are in trenches with cases of bully beef on the tops of the walls and shoot between 2 cases. I don't think many get hit, although the bullets come very close. One man got a bullet through the bridge of his nose, which was a bit too close. When we are not firing, we go underground, as we use covered caves. All this has been done since the siege began. The first day we had only bare walls and no overhead cover. If you could only see the nice hole I have in the ground, you would say it is not in accordance with authorised instructions. It holds 2 of us, and I don't think even a 12-pounder would hurt us now. It's 4 feet deep, lined and covered with biscuit and bully beef boxes filled with earth. I don't know when or how we are to be relieved. One day the Boers sent us a white flag and wanted us to surrender. The officers were to retain their arms and the men would leave everything behind them. The camp was to be left untouched. You know it contains some hundreds of tons of all sorts of provisions. The Boers said that otherwise they would bring their 94-pounder. Colonel Hode told them to bring it and stick it up and fire away, but it has not come yet. Last night I heard we had lost 16 all told and about 60 wounded. It's jolly hard to see the Boers when they are sniping. You can only hear the retort. And when you look toward the sound, another report comes from another direction, and the hills make the sound very misleading. Most of us are using Mausers now. They are a very nice rifle to shoot, with the bullets are all tipped with Vendrigus for the purpose of cleaning the barrel, I think, for the verdigris is cleaned off in the barrel. Saturday, we were relieved by the Boers clearing out the day before Kitchener came in with 10,000 men. His advance guard arrived at 8 a.m. He had all arms of the service represented to see the household cavalry now and in a picture. Oh, what a change. Their clothes are all torn, their hair long and their faces dirty with horses that we would not be seen riding in Castlemaine. The Duke of Teck is in command. All the English officers say we have done wonders in holding out at all. Even Lord Kitchener said we had done very well. Anyhow, it proves that rifle fire can hold out against big guns. We could have held out indefinitely as long as they would leave the water supply alone. We had to go every night with water carts 3/4 of a mile, protected by a screen of scouts, the Boers firing all the way. A lot of drivers were wounded, but we got the water. The nights were nearly as bright as day. Every night the enemy would fire their big guns once and pom-poms about 6 times at different hours each night. We had men on the watch, and when they saw the flashes, they cried, "Down!" and "Down!" You would go wherever you were, and next moment the shells would come bang into the camp and send a shower of pieces about. Lord Kitchener left this morning for Pretoria. We have to wait for Lord Methuen, who is expected today with another 10,000, and we all go with him to Zeerust. Sunday we have left Elands River, and we are now 4 miles from camp and wait for General Brabant. We hear we are to go home from Mafeking. Wednesday the 26th of August, we are now 3 miles from Mafeking, having marched about 2 miles a day. The last 2 days there was a terrible dust storm. We had the dust of 10,000 men in our faces, as well as carts and mules as we formed the rear guard. Saturday, we are now in Mafeking. Last night we had a tremendous storm which did more harm to the town than the whole of the siege. 30 men were killed by the flying debris. We are in great demand now. Lord Methuen, Lord Errol and General Baden-Powell all want us in their command. BP has wired that we join him at Pretoria. We're going there on Monday by rail. Right, we're in Alexandra, or as the locals call it, Alex. Now, I'm not sure, but I think Alexandra might have been one of Victoria's daughters. So maybe she was a princess, or maybe she married royalty or something like that. Anyway, we're looking for the Shire Hall. This is a fantastic little town. Plenty of op shops. And the halls I saw look very grand, so let's see if we can find the Shire Hall. They should be open, I think. Look at this place. Very Greek, Roman, the huge pillars. Could even be a Masonic lodge maybe. And then on the other side, well, that also looks like a Shire Hall. What is a Shire Hall? Is it a town hall? Alright, there's some lights on it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Just about caught me live on camera getting taken out then by a rather fancy sports car. Oh, this could be the Shire Hall. Well, this is the Mechanics Institute. Okay. Close but no cigar. Oh yeah, let's have a look in here. Oh, hang on, this is a library. Well, they'll be able to tell me. Maybe not, there's too many. Woman's returning their books, how long will that take? No, I think this is part of the library now. On Perkins Street might be. Alright, we'll go down here. This is council offices. Okay, I think I found the Shire Halls. It looks fairly new, but I think this might be Alexandra. We'll find out who the maiden in marble is. So beautiful carving, isn't it? Here we go. Princess Alexandra, you're correct. The marble statue, later the Queen of King Edward the VII. Okay, so I think, I could be wrong, I think she was the Queen Mother, wasn't she? Of Elizabeth. Wow. So a little about Alexandra, she was born in Denmark from the Danish royal family, and she was Victoria's daughter-in-law when she married Albert, or Bertie as he was known. And he was the second eldest of Victoria's children, but he was the oldest son, so he was the Prince of Wales. And Alexandra would have been the Princess of Wales, and we know she was popular because of this little town being named after her, and there are other places around the Commonwealth named after her. Now, when Edward ascended to the throne in 1901, she adopted the title of Queen of England and also the Empress of India. She lived quite a long life. She lived till she was 80 and died in 1925, whereas Bertie, enjoying too many cigars, loose women and the lifestyle, passed away some years before her. Got to touch it. So smooth, so white. Okay, we'll go over here to the Murrindindi. There's an Aboriginal word for you viewers overseas. Shire Council, and we'll go and ask them about the plaques to the men. Now, I might get a blink look. It's starting to rain in the high country. Then we got to go to the Anglican Church and see if the Right Reverend will take us back to Yay. I doubt it. Oh, hi there, sorry to disturb. I'm come up from Melbourne. I'm following some men that passed away in the Boer War. Now I believe in the Alexandra Shire Hall is Grant and Perkins.
The Shire is there. The Shire Hall is just on the corner there.
With the big columns.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it open, do you think?
They're doing some immunisation. The maternal child health are in there at the moment, so it may be open to what you're after.
They might let me in for a minute or so.
Yeah, if not, yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, well, you heard the lady, and I was quite right. Well, actually, I thought the place with the big columns might have been the Masonic Lodge, but no. Must have been a wealthy little town. I think once again they were looking for gold around here, but apparently maybe the nurses are in there with the maternal child health, so we better turn the camera off before we get in there in case they think I'm filming the babies. Stop recording. Okay folks, we are in for an absolute treat. We're in the Alex Shire Hall, the old one. There's a magnificent brass plaque. It's big. It says this tablet, I think it's called a tablet, has been erected by the residents of the Shire of Alexandra in honour of the following young men who left the district as soldiers to serve the Empire in the Boer War, South Africa, 1900-1902. So we've got Thomas Thompson of the Thornycroft Lighthorse. Now we saw them in the Heathcote episode. We've got Leslie Mager, Lieutenant VC. Wow. David Dobson, Lieutenant. Norman Hardy, Sergeant. John S. Little, Sergeant of the Scottish Horse. The Talibadines, we know them as well from Maryborough, folks. Keep up. Robert McGregor, West Australian contingent. He died of the enteric fever. Johnson Corps, the 5th contingent, he was wounded. And we've got Lance Corporal Johnson, Francis Kilpatrick, Trooper, South African Light Horse, wounded. Okay, we'll get back to them, the Light Horse. Ernest W. Hall, the Trooper, W Australian Bush contingent. Walter Harker, a trooper of the 2nd Regular Mounted Rifles of the New South Wales, killed in action at, it's hard to read, Cranfontaine. And Michael J. Budwig Sadler, the 5th contingent. And then we've got Percy Sampson of the 5th contingent. We've got William Aldous of the Private Scottish Horse, the Talibadines. Wesley Parsons Private, the 5th contingent. Thomas Casey, John Dunn, Reuben Payne, David Johnson, W.E. Williams of the private Bushman contingent, and finally Morgan J. Davis of the Scottish Horse, the Talibadeens killed in action, but no further detail. Not sure why they have the WA men here, unless they lived in Alex and then went across to WA and enlisted there. But oh wow, that is one of the best we've seen. We'll just step back a moment. Oh, that is magnificent. Well, you've been given a treat today in the town of Alex, folks, so let's keep moving. Thank you very much. Okay. A huge hall, isn't it? Hey? Wow, there would have been bands and all sorts of stuff up on there. There's the Great War Honour Board. There'll be hundreds of names on that Great Honour Board. Alright, we'll stop recording.